They say you can tell who a man truly is, not by how he treats the powerful, but by how he responds to those who disrespect him. It was just another morning at the international terminal of Lagos Airport. The hustle, the noise, the rushing. Everyone was trying to get somewhere. Among the crowd was a quiet man, dressed in a simple gray hoodie, dark jeans and sneakers. He carried only a small backpack and a warm smile. No entourage, no designer labels, no announcements, just him. He was booked on a business class ticket to London. But no one, especially not the flight attendant on duty that morning, had any idea who he was. As boarding began, the line moved slowly. The flight attendant, a young woman named Clara, was tired. It was her third shift that week. She barely looked up as she scanned tickets. When the man approached, she glanced at his boarding pass, then back at him. She frowned. "Sir, this is business class," she said flatly. "I know," he replied gently, showing her the boarding pass again. She looked again, then scoffed slightly under her breath. "You're in 12C, she asked a little louder this time. "Yes, that's correct." Another attendant leaned over and whispered, "Let him through." Clara rolled her eyes. "All right, go ahead," she muttered, clearly unconvinced. "Just don't block the aisle when you're putting your things up." The man nodded, smiled warmly and walked on. No complaint, no attitude, no need to explain. Few passengers noticed, though. One man, a business executive who had seen the man's face before, perhaps on YouTube or from a distant crusade, leaned in to whisper to Clara, "You know who that is, right?" A shrug. "Some guy in a hoodie." The executive smiled. "That's Pastor Jerry Eze." Her face froze. "Wait, the NSPPD pastor?" He nodded. "Yes, the what God cannot do does not exist guy. Millions watch him pray live every morning." Clara felt heat rush to her cheeks. Embarrassed. Shame. She had spoken so sharply. Treated him like he was nothing. And yet, he didn't flinch. Throughout the flight, Pastor Jerry sat quietly. He greeted the person next to him, helped an elderly woman with her bag, and even offered his unopened meal to a mother with a child who was crying from hunger. He asked for water. Just water. And he thanked the attendants every time they passed. Clara avoided his gaze. Guilt now wrapped around her like a cold scarf. Near the end of the flight, Clara finally approached him, hesitant, nervous. "Sir, I just wanted to apologize for earlier. I didn't recognize you." Pastor Jerry looked up with that same gentle smile. "You don't have to apologize for not knowing me," he said calmly. "Titles don't make people better. Character does." She swallowed hard. Tears welled in her eyes. "I was rude. You were so kind." He nodded slowly. "Sometimes God allows us to be unrecognized so he can test our hearts. And the hearts of others," he said. Word quietly spread among the crew. By the time the flight landed, Clara was no longer just embarrassed. She was transformed. She later told her supervisor, "I met a real man of God today. Not because he preached, but because he lived it, even when I gave him every reason not to." She would go on to join the NSPPD online prayers that week. Then the week after. Then she began attending church again. She even told her colleagues about the encounter. All because one man chose humility over ego. In a world where so many fight to be seen, to be respected, to be honored, Pastor Jerry Eze taught a lesson far louder than any sermon. You don't have to announce your greatness when your character can carry your name. And maybe, just maybe, that flight wasn't about comfort or travel. It was about planting a seed in the heart of a tired flight attendant, one that would grow, blossom, and bear fruit. All because of humility. 'Cause indeed, what God cannot do does not exist.